What's good, YouTube? Nobody here. Welcome back for episode 3 of season 2 of Freebooter's Challenge. So in the last episode, we basically got this little bit of a rover started, and in between the episodes, I went ahead and added a little cryo chamber for my second guy here. That way I don't have to worry about bringing him in. And also started on the base here. I've gotten a lot of it done. It took about 2 hours to grind things down and go ahead and get the assembler taking care of everything, basically breaking it all down. We ended up with almost an entire small cargo container full of ingots after it was done, and this has taken forever. It took about 2 hours. So what I'm gonna do today is I need to go ahead and get this crane together like we were talking about in the last episode. That way we can pick these 4 batteries up and put them on the base here. And I also need to probably work on some sort of a grinder and assembler setup. That way we can grind this stuff down from the rover itself, just run over it with the rover and control the grinder from there. That way we can suck it right up on into the rover for the time being, and then get a few assemblers up and put them on the base with some speed modules. That way we can quickly take care of everything. So the first thing we're going to do today is we are going to work on this guy right here, the large cargo container, because in order to do any of this we actually need the cargo container. So what I'm going to do is I've got him queued up, and I'm just going to go ahead and shift middle click here to do the production thing. As soon as I pull it out of disassembling, let me disassemble. Okay, there we go. And go into assembler and now queue this up. That way we can go ahead and get that done. Alright, so finishing up this large cargo container here, now we can actually get all this stuff taken care of. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and use the floor for all of our conveyor connections here. So I'm going to, let's see, I need to bring up conveyor belts here. I'm going to run these conveyor junctions down through the floor. That way we can get everything that we need to do done through the conveyor. I'm going to have to queue a couple of them up. Let me count how many I'm going to need real quick. Okay, I'm going to need 8 of these to start with, so I'm going to go ahead and queue these up. Okay, so I'm also going to need some conveyor hinges here. I'm going to not use pistons for this first run, just to see how I can do with that. We have this extra mod that I want to kind of use a little bit, the conveyor hinge mod here. So I'm going to go ahead and queue a couple of those up. Let me figure out how many I'm going to need. Okay, I think I'm going to need about 2 of them. So I'm going to go and queue those up. And also we're going to need some rotors here so we can move some stuff around. Well, actually we won't need them if we have the conveyor hinge. That kind of takes care of the pistons and the rotors for what I'm going to do. So I think we should be good as long as I just queue up a bunch more of the conveyor tubes. Let's see, I'm going to need, I'd say about 5 more of those. There we go. And that should be pretty much everything that we need to queue up at the moment for this system. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on all of this stuff. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to run straight down the center here with my conveyors. Being careful not to mess anything up that we've got going here. We're going to have to start thinking about getting all of this welded up sometime soon as well. Okay, so that should be good for that, and we're going to go ahead and place one of these guys here, and we want this to be able to move up and down. So there we go, and a couple of these. I think 2 should suffice here. And another conveyor hinge that moves up and down, same direction. Let me go ahead, well, that's fine for now. We don't need to worry about that. And another 2 here. And then we're going to have to start worrying about what we're going to do for the welders themselves, so we'll get to that shortly. I'm going to go ahead and start welding all this stuff up and see what we still need. Okay, so now that we've got this done, I'm going to go ahead and set the lower limit here and upper limit to 90, or to 0, I mean. That way we can go ahead and just straighten all of this out. We'll fix all of that later, but I think 0 is what we're looking for here. So let me do that to both of these and then get them in position. It's probably quicker if we just go through here. We're going to share inertial tensor on both of them. And go ahead and lock this one to 0 as well. And then we should be able to go ahead and set the velocity. And they should straighten out. Yeah, they're straightening out. Once I get these straightened out, I can start thinking about what we're going to put on the end of them as well. We're going to have to put quite a few welders, or quite a few grinders on the end. So I'm going to have to place a lot of conveyors. And that was a weird bit of clang there. Don't know why it clanged like it did, but that's fine. It didn't break anything. It happened when the rotor's locked. So that's probably got something to do with it. Okay, I went ahead and queued up 10 conveyor junctions. That should be more than enough for what we need to do. Let's see, 5 on either side. Yeah, that's exactly right, I believe. So let me go ahead, or it'll be, let me go ahead and queue one more up. That way we've got an uneven number so we can find center. And I will go ahead and start building these. Okay, so we've gotten all of that built now, so it's perfectly acceptable for us to start grinding things down. However, the first thing we need to do is we need to get these batteries up there so we don't get rid of them when we grind, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer all this ice over here to our base over here. We're starting to run a little bit low on the ice that we have, so it's about time to start thinking about finding more ice as well. So that's something I need to keep in the back of my mind for a little while, because if we run out of ice, we're pretty much in trouble at the moment. But we're going to go ahead and get it set up to where we can grab these batteries and put them on our rover as well, because we need to hold on to all the batteries we can get. Like I said, you can't get anything, or you can't really get the stuff back from the batteries, so it's kind of a waste of materials to do otherwise, and we are going to have problems with materials. So what we want to do here is, I want to figure out a good, I've never really made a crane before, but I do know we're going to need some advanced rotors. So let me go ahead and queue some of these up. I'm going to need probably about 4 or 5 of them. Along with some pistons and some... actually, pistons and rotors should about do it, except for a landing gear. So let me go ahead and queue that up as well. And if I want to, I can actually, in fact, I probably will. I need to go ahead and do a connector as well for this, and for the crane. That way we can just connect up through here and grab all the stuff into our storage. So that's what I'm going to do here. And finally, the pistons. Let's see, is there any, yeah, I can get rid of the grinder on the bar here, and I need to queue up, let's see, I'm going to queue up 8 pistons. I doubt we need that many, but at least we'll have everything made for them. And we're going to give that a few minutes to work while we're looking around and seeing what's going on over here. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is, let me go ahead and grab up some materials here so we can start laying this out while we're waiting for these to build. I do know I'm going to need a rotor here. and then a piston or two on top. I'm going to go with 2 pistons here just to make sure. Now, I don't think we're going to hold this crane on here. This is not going to be the final version of the crane. So there is that. Let me go ahead and grab what I need for this too. In fact, I don't think I queued any of these up. I didn't. So let me go ahead and queue up about 4 of these. So we've got the rotor here and the 2 pistons here. So if I put a junction right here, then I should be able to put another rotor on that, and that's going to give us 4 degrees of freedom. I'm trying to figure out what we would need for 6 degrees. I think a rotor, yeah, I know exactly what we'd need for 6 degrees. We need another rotor on the opposite side position. So that would work. Let me go ahead and grab up what I need for this. And that's going to be... I'm going to have to consolidate some of this so I can get what I need. Alright, so there's the interior plates. Let me go ahead and grab those and grab some more fuel here. Yeah, we're definitely going to need more fuel soon.
Fuel low.
Ooh, that was close. Oh man, I missed it. Okay, I'm gonna have to build my way up here real quick. That is the problem with what I've got set up here. I don't really have a good way to deal with what I need to do here. There we go. And now we have some hydrogen. Let me pick these back up because I don't want to waste those materials. Okay, so yeah, I need to go ahead and get these conveyors placed here. Put those back in there, and 1 conveyor here, and then I could do a piston, or not piston, but a rotor here, and another conveyor here, and a rotor in this direction, but I don't think that's going to work out quite right. Let's go ahead and add our pistons here. I'm going to add 3 in this direction. Ooh, what just happened? That is very, very interesting. We just broke that connection. I don't know how that broke the connection, but it did. So what I'm going to have to do is take all this down. And try not to get hit by this thing. And I'm going to have to replace that. Oh, I think I know what it is. It disconnected it from the grid when I... Yeah, that was its connection spot. Okay, so I'm going to need to build another one of these. So let's go ahead and start grinding it down. Make sure there's nothing in it. Good. So be careful when you're doing stuff like that, because apparently if you take that one middle point right there out, it disconnects. And I'm going to have to fix the cryo chamber over here as well, so that's going to take me a moment. And we did lose a few, or no, we didn't lose any interior plates. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and place a couple of these light armor blocks here as well. That way we are certain that we're connected. There we go. And And now we will get back to placing this stuff. So it was a rotor. And then 2 pistons. Then a conveyor junction, which I don't have the materials to start. And then another rotor. Let me go ahead and lock this rotor in. And lock this rotor in. That way we don't get any spinnies. And then 2 more of these, or 3 actually is what I decided. And then another junction. And I'm going to need a rotor here for the sixth degree of freedom. And then I can lock this one. And I'm going to add a junction here. On one side of this junction, we are going to have a connector. And on the other end, we're going to have a landing gear. If I could spell, we'd be okay. Okay, so this should work out pretty well. That should give us 6 degrees of freedom. Let me go ahead and fix this guy up while I'm at it. Now, my only question is, are we going to be able to make it to these batteries, or are we going to have to place it somewhere else? I think we're going to have to place it somewhere else. We'll probably start building a roof to put those on for now, because these 3 pistons out here are going to go too far at full retraction. Okay, still short 3 medical components. Okay, silver. Ooh, we don't have any silver. None whatsoever. This is going to be pretty interesting. So I am going to need to use this guy for the time being. Okay, so we're just going to have to deal with not having this for now. And we will go ahead and finish up this crane here. So let me go ahead and get all this stuff queued into my build planner. Okay, so we've gotten all of that built. Now let me go ahead and take all these pistons and all of these rotors that we've got here and go ahead and share inertial tensor. That way it doesn't go bouncing all around. We have everything we need to get started with the batteries now, I believe. So let's go ahead and just see what we can do with this. I'm going to have to extend this piston here. So let's go for just reverse. It doesn't really matter if it goes a little bit quick here. Alright, and we're going to reverse this one as well. I think 3 should make it out there just barely, actually. We need to make it to this spot here. We may need to add another piston for those, but we'll figure that out. If I need to grind it down and move a little closer, I can do that as well. Alright, so now the 3rd piston. Yeah, it looks like 3 pistons are not quite going to be enough to get all of them. Just one of them, actually. And I'm going to have to add a piston here as well. So let me go ahead and grind this down. Ooh. Ow. I just wasted some materials there. Let me go ahead and add a piston here. I'm going to add 2 just to counteract the ones that are right there. That way we can get all of the distance we need here. While this is all queued up and making, I just want to say we just reached our 1,000 subscriber goal day before yesterday, and I'm already up to 1,023 subscribers. You guys are killing it. We're legit now. Thank you. I do appreciate all of that. Also, if you're new here and you haven't yet, then how about helping us reach our goal of 2,000 subscribers? Okay, so now we have that done. I need to go ahead and rotate this. So let's see, we've got 255 there, 180 there, so I need to go in the negative direction. Cut off the rotor lock here. And go ahead and set the velocity a little bit faster. We want to get to about 270 degrees here. That should be directly up and down. Alright, so we're at 270, and if we move forward just a tad, we can go ahead and pick up our first battery here. So let's go do that. I just need to move forward just a little bit. Zoom in here so I can see a little bit better. And there. Alright, perfect. Now all we have to do is extend this piston just slightly. I'm just getting to where I can see this a little bit better. And once we lock, we can stop. Alright, so we are now locked to this one, which allows me to now release this one by chopping off this light armor block here. And we can start raising this back up. Let me grab this right here and put that in here. Make sure that's lifting. Doesn't seem to be lifting. Okay, so we will increase the distance on this one. And we're locked in somewhere, so this is going to be a problem. This is apparently still connected somehow. I think what it is this is considered to be a grid still. So let me go ahead and come into the info here and convert to ship. There we go. Probably shouldn't have done that while I was pulling on it, but oh well. Live and learn. Okay, so now once we raise this up to the point that we need it to be at, we can start moving these in. That should be high enough for now. And I'll bring the velocity to 0 and bring these in. If anyone knows of a good way to control these without just individually adjusting the pistons, let me know. Because that would be very, very nice. I want to add a permanent crane to this setup. This is just a temporary one for today, just to get what we need. But I'd like to lock one away and hide it away a little bit. And in order to do that, I'd need a better way to control it. Okay, so let's make sure that this is going to clear, and yes it is. And we should be able to swing it around onto that if we need to, so that's perfect. Let's go ahead and bring the velocity in. And we're going to have to move this into here a little bit. So let's go ahead and spin this rotor around. This is going to go in the negative direction. And cut off the rotor lock. Okay, I'm going to need to raise this up. That should be high enough, yes. And then we can move this around. Okay, I'm going to have to get rid of the solar panel here. It's in the way and it's going to cause issue if I don't. Now, I need to lower this down to about in here. So, let's see. Is this going to line up right? I'm going to have to add, let's see, we're going to need a merge block here. We're going to need 2 of these. We're going to need one on this and one on the base here. So I think this should be a good spot for it. We can move it in just a tad over this direction and then drop it down and try to line it up with that if we can. I don't think we're going to be able to get any further in. So let's go for merge block here. That's going to be easy to connect. All right, so that means I need to move it slightly this direction. So I need to bring you into the positive or negative. And let me move my little guy here so I can get a better view of what's going on here so we can line it up better. All right, we got them locked in. Perfect. So now let me hop over here to my main game and I can go ahead and undock this. This is unlocked. Perfect. And I can go ahead and move this back up a little bit. And now we can grab up the next one. I should be able to just place a block here and make sure that these are connected and get rid of these. Make sure this is connected to the base. Yes, it is. Perfect. And now I can probably get rid of this one. And it's still connected? Yes. Perfect. We now have a new battery that we just added to the base. I'm going to go ahead and grab this other battery here before I do anything else. So let me set this little guy here up. I've got an idea for him. Just to make things a little bit easier, I think he's going to have to ride the landing gear here. Just to make it easier for me to find where I'm at. And now I'll line it back up with the other stuff over here. You go ahead and raise these guys up. Okay, after placing the second one, I've decided that it takes too long to do this. So I'm not gonna continue to drop batteries onto the base. It's just such a pain that we would be better off making the batteries ourselves. Let me see if I can get my little guy here reconnected. For some reason, he dropped connection, and I have no idea why, and I need to figure that out. Hopefully I can. And it just wouldn't reconnect, but it looks like he's going to reconnect this time, so that should be okay. Okay, I managed to get him reconnected here. So let me place him to where you can see him better, or this better, and I can as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just connect this connector here to the other connector over here. That way we can just grab all this stuff out of here and not lose it. And then we'll start grinding this base down. So I need to reset all of these to 0. Got that one set to 0, and now let's see. This one, it doesn't matter if I reset to 0, so we should be good on that. All I need to do is extend these pistons, lower this a little bit, bring these back in slightly. Okay, so we've got them to where we can connect now, so I'll just go ahead and lock. Now we can pull all of that stuff that we have in there into here. So let me go ahead and do this. I need to cut the assembler off from using the conveyor system, because it keeps pulling stuff back into the conveyor here. And that's everything there. Let me go ahead and grab this ice that we still have left in here before we start tearing everything down. Oh, that's in the cryo chamber. Interesting. Okay, that works. Now that that's all done, we can start grinding all of this down. So I'm going to unlock here and pick these back up. And grab some energy real quick before I start tearing all this down. Alright, so now we can tear all of this down and go ahead and move the assembler over first. Alright, so all that's ground down. Now it's time to start thinking about moving this assembler here. So let me go ahead and grab this and these construction components that we dropped earlier. Now what I'm going to do here is make sure there's nothing in here. Alright, there is nothing in here, so I'm just gonna grind this down. And place it, I believe, right on top here. There we go, and we can add some speed units to this as well, so that'll be nice. Alright, that's done, and let me grab the rest of these. Awesome. Now let me grab some speed units. That way we can speed up the production and taking apart of things. Okay, so let me go ahead and queue all this up so I can grab what we need. Good deal. Now, we are going to need some sort of power generation here shortly, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started real quick. I'm going to set up on the backs here in the corners. We're going to set up some windmills. Yeah, 2 windmills should suffice for now. And in order to connect the windmills to the ground, which they have to be connected to the ground, by the way, on a rover, you have to actually park the rover using landing gears. So what we're going to do is we're going to put pistons here. with landing gears on them. Or just one, actually. We can do that. Let's see. Let's find center here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now that we've got near center, for some reason I did an even number, which I'm not happy with, but that's fine. We'll be okay. I'm going to go ahead and just do this little system right here. I'll probably move this up later so we can clear more things. In fact, let's go ahead and move it up now while we can. So I need to go a couple more high. That should be good, and go ahead and place our piston here, and we can put our landing gear here. I'm gonna place this landing gear to the side for now and go ahead and queue all of this stuff up. And now all I have to do is extend this. Until it connects. There we go, and we are now connected. So I can add 2 wind turbines here. So let me go ahead and grab what I need to place these and queue the rest of them up. And now we have wind turbines. For some reason, they're not working. Oh, I think I need to convert to station real quick since we're connected. And it will not convert to station. So let's check this piston here. Okay, so these wind turbines are not going to work at all. So in order to fix that, they must have patched that in the most recent patch, which is totally cool by me. In order to fix that, we're just going to have to go with solar power generation for now. So I'm going to go ahead and place a few of these just so we can start doing some solar panels. Alright, so now that we've got those up, I'll probably add, honestly, I'll add Easy's solar script, and we're going to go ahead and finish up the grinding, and we're going to finish off the video with the grinding. Let's see what we can do here. So I'm going to back up here and line up with the base. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go, and park. Now I'm going to turn on these grinders. Actually, I'm going to add them to my toolbar here. And we are going to start moving forward and see what we've got here. Alright, so let me back up just a slight bit here. Set the little guy so you can see him better. And now all I have to do is go into these conveyor hinges and set them to negative, and get, okay, make sure there's no limit here. We'll just set the lower limit since we're going negative. That should, well, negative brought us up, so we want to go down, so we need to go positive. So we're going to change our upper limit here to about 10 degrees and see what happens. And we will reverse. Alright, so that lowered everything down. Let's see how far it lowered. Oh, wow. Yeah, that lowered perfectly. I think it's about 10 degrees per block that we want to do. So let's find out. Maybe a little more. That's something we're going to have to be testing in the next couple episodes here. And we're going to go for another negative 10. Or another positive 10, sorry. So we're going to go with lower upper limit of 20 degrees. That should pretty much put us with the ground. Yeah, that's perfect. So I'm just tapping forward one time here and letting it move itself, and it seems to be just about right. the way through. How about dropping a like to let me know that you did? In the next video, we'll try to find some ice and maybe a new base to destroy. If you haven't already, please think about helping us reach our goal of 2,000 subscribers. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, click one of the 2 videos on your screen now. Thank you. Have a nice day.